just before we start the video, this episode is not for the weak people. This episode will exactly be according to my plan. That is filtering out the weak traders from the strong traders. For all you strong traders that will listen to the entire thing, you can treat this as a podcast. There is not much going on the screen itself. Nothing that will be important to you. Take the lessons from it and out-compete your competition. I hope you're ready for a life-changing lesson. So, today we have a very valuable video. Now, this will not be the most fancy video. A lot of people will ignore this video, and the ones that do watch it will absolutely be destined for success. Because this will be the most valuable lesson in the whole A to Z guide. You absolutely need to hear this, every single bit of it. Throughout this video, I will touch on all the things I wanted to know before I got into trading. So whenever I refer to you should do this, you should do that, I'm also referring to you, as in you, the person watching this, but I'm also talking to my younger self. If I knew all this, and I was in the place where you were in, you found the A to Z guide, you potentially even found the MMT, the money making team, then you are extremely lucky to have found that. But it means nothing without the right mindset. If you can combine the teachings that I have here on YouTube in the MMT, and you have the right mindset, then there's no reason for you not to be successful in a very short amount of time. And that's why I will share this, because if you can learn from this, have the right mindset, then believe me, all it does take is time, and there's nothing stopping you. The only thing holding you back is time. That is very important to realize. And by knowing this, you will accelerate your learning curve. Why? Because you are learning from my mistakes and from my experience. So we will speed up your own progress. Now, the first thing I want to mention is don't backtest. Never look to backtest. With backtesting, I'm referring to using old data, old charts, and using the replay tool or another tool and replaying the data and trying to trade it, where you can just have a few clicks and you skip price. For example, here on GU right here, you would do this, and then eventually you just skip price fast to get to an entry. This is not what you want to be doing. This is going to be extremely detrimental. I think we all know a backtesting warrior. And what is a backtesting warrior? Someone that only shows up with some backtesting stats every once in a while, doesn't actually live trade or try to attempt to live trade. All they do is constantly backtest and backtest and backtest. You're not going to achieve anything by just backtesting, literally nothing. If anything, you are doing the opposite. It's extremely detrimental, and let me explain why. Backtesting is making you comfortable. You will never learn the emotional lessons that you need to learn in live trading, in forward testing. Again, not financial advice, but you will never learn the same emotional lessons. Backtesting is like TikTok. If you don't like something, you swipe 20 times until you find a new video that you like within 2 seconds. If I were to take a loss here on GU and I entered right there, for example, then it only takes me, 20 clicks to now find a winner. Oh, I take a loss. Oh, let me just click a few more clicks. Nice. Now I have a winner. Can you see how extremely detrimental that is for your psychology? Because in real time, when you're forward testing, what does that do? When you take that loss, you can't skip forward 20 candles to take a winner. So that thing that you used to do in backtesting, you can't do it. So what is the next step? If you are forward testing, you are going to force something, or you're going to flick through other pairs, other instruments, and find a trade that you can potentially take, and you start revenge trading, over trading, because you have this habit of skipping price and trying to find the next winner to make yourself comfortable. If you are in this backtesting phase and in this backtesting cycle, because it's a cycle, every time you lose in forward testing, that is going to be very uncomfortable. But if you're a backtesting warrior, you will go back and you will backtest to make yourself comfortable and to get a few dopamine hits, to see a few winners, because you can just skip through price. That is an extremely unhealthy habit. Be uncomfortable after a loss. That's normal. That's a process, an emotional process you need to go through. If you never experience it, then you will never learn, you will never get better. Pain is there to get better from. Again, maybe pain is a little bit of an exaggeration, But it is an uncomfortable feeling, losing. I still lose. It's not a nice feeling. I don't like it. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it that, yes, oh, I love losing. No, absolutely not. I hate losing. I don't like it. It feels uncomfortable. But I can acknowledge the uncomfortable feeling. And I'm like, all right, I now feel uncomfortable. I know I feel uncomfortable. But there's nothing I can do about it right now. It's just part of the process. I'm not seeking that comfortable feeling by going back into backtesting mode. Extremely dangerous. I would also advise there's no need to backtest at all. Zero reason to backtest. Forward test and hindsight backtest. So only in hindsight, look through your backtest. And then forward test. Be ready that you are going to lose. It's going to be uncomfortable. And that is very important to understand. The things I've also written down here, with backtesting, you will never experience a losing streak. You will never experience the mental challenges that will come with live trading. Everyone can understand the technicals. Name someone. Truly, this is a challenge for you. Truly try to name someone. Name someone that idiotic that can't understand the technicals. There's no one in this world. I refuse to believe there's anyone in this world unless you have a true mental disability. But I truly believe there's no one in this world that can't understand the technicals. So when that is the case, it's not about the technicals, is it? That's not why 99% fail. 99% doesn't fail because they don't understand the technicals. No, it's not rocket science. And even if it was rocket science, enough people would be able to be profitable if they can understand the technicals. But that's not the case. 99% can't overcome their human instincts, their human nature, their psychology. They can't control themselves. They don't have self-control. They fall for every trap that the market is setting out for you. And I'm not talking about a liquidity trap. I'm talking about the market is playing games with your mind. And you are playing games with your mind. And everyone around you is playing games with your mind. Because social media, mentors throwing a new concept at you every single week. That's also something we will touch on. Again, always look to forward test. To win eventually, you need to learn through pain. You need to experience pain. Backtesting is not going to give you that pain. Stop backtesting. It's not good. There are extremely unhealthy habits attached to backtesting. And the pros do not outweigh the cons. To be honest, I don't see a lot of pros with backtesting at all. Then the next one is follow one mentor. Whoever that mentor may be. I don't care who that mentor is. Is it me? Is it someone else? I don't really care. As long as you follow that mentor religiously. Now, again, don't idolize. That is also something we will touch on in this video. When you follow one mentor, you will get used to his thinking. Now, again, of course, not every mentor wants the best for you. That is also, and that can be extremely difficult in this trading industry. So if you want to be certain if someone wants the best for you, then you can notice certain characteristics in the way they teach, in how they teach. For example, do they throw new concepts at you every week? Do they tell you exactly how to apply the concepts? Do they show you in real time how the concepts are applied? Do they give you psychology lessons, or is it only about the technicals? All these and of course more are things to ask yourselves. Now, does your mentor really want the best for you? And if you're in doubt, you can always choose me as your mentor. Because I think I fit all the criteria right there, as well as the live trading, which we do in the money making team. Because this is one of the trades right here that we were able to catch in the money making team right there. All done live. Then the next thing is, when you have that one mentor, you don't want to be active on social media because you don't want your mind to get affected by other mentors or other people telling you different things, because then you will activate your shiny object syndrome eventually. So everything that I'm telling you here is I'm protecting you from yourself, because I have been there. I'm talking to myself in this video. We all go through the same stages where you have a mentor, but you're not really satisfied. So you start looking for a new mentor and a new shiny object and something new. You want something better. And eventually you're just in this endless cycle and you never truly get anywhere. And then you're years further along the line and you never truly got anywhere. And you might be in a backtesting cycle where you test a new concept every week. I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to waste years on that. So that is exactly why I'm giving you the lessons right here. Social media is truly not that relevant at all. Unless you're a creator and not a consumer, then I would say go for it if you're genuinely trying to help people. But if you're just a consumer, it's not that great. You're not missing out on anything on social media, truly, believe me. If your mentor is on social media, then again, follow your mentor. But don't listen to what anyone else besides your mentor is telling you. Stick to one thing only, one mentor. Then as well, when you are going to trade and you are in your trading mode, so you are forward testing, you are live trading, whatever you are doing, you don't want to be active on social media as well. And the reason for that is, again, if you take one losing trade or you have one bad week, for example, then all of a sudden you see someone on Twitter, Instagram, another guru mention a new concept, etc. And you get thrown off, shiny object syndrome, you start to doubt yourself, you're insecure. And then eventually it leads to this new cycle, that endless shiny object syndrome cycle. So a funny thing that I actually emailed out to the newsletter was that, have you ever noticed that after a bad price action week or after a bad trading week where we know the majority of the people had a somewhat bad trading week, have you ever noticed that on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, usually it's Twitter because there you can influence people more directly, have you ever noticed that a new fancy concept shows up? It's just something to think about. Remember the cycle we had, the trend with turtle soups? Remember the macros or even the reapers? When did these new concepts happen? When we had absolutely shitty price action. And let me tell you the reason for that. It's because when you have high probability conditions for your trading plan, there will also be low probability conditions. And in these low probability conditions, you just want to stay out of the market. And that's difficult because that requires patience. That patience, that pain, that uncomfortable feeling can only be acquired through forward testing, through live trading, not through back testing. And in those low probability conditions that are low probability conditions for you, that will be someone else's high probability condition. Again, that is picking your poison. You don't have to trade both. Pick your poison. Less is more in trading. If you're trying to trade both, that will not work. So someone else will share their high probability conditions and they will say, well, this concept did great this week. And you will think, I need that concept because I did bad this week. You don't need the concept. You don't. Please listen to me. You don't. You will, because that week was high probability condition for that concept. But then you don't take into account the low probability conditions for that concept. So once you are used to that concept and you're now using a new concept, what happens when low probability conditions show up again? Then you will have the same cycle and you will maybe refer back to your old concept that you were using because that was high probability in the other concepts, low probability conditions. So they are inversely correlated, you could say. You need to be conscious of that. With everything, you need to be conscious, very conscious of everything that you're doing. A lot of people don't think. They don't think. You need to think about things, everything, question everything. Do people want the best for you? Even question me, do I want the best for you? Does Arjo want the best for me? Is he truly helping me? Is he a genuine human being? It's all things. You need to question every single little thing. Think about everything. It won't do you harm. It will only bring you good. Very important. So then the next thing as well is you learn through experience and you jump into the deep end. Those go hand in hand. When you do that and you jump into the deep end, so you start forward testing, live testing, what will happen is you will lose. You will lose. You will lose. Remember that you will lose. Sooner or later, you will go through a big drawdown streak where you will have a losing streak. Most people, when they experience that drawdown, when they experience that losing streak, they will change strategies. What I just talked about, they will see a concept on Twitter, wherever, that did good that week. And then they will say, oh yeah, I need that concept, so let me change my strategy. Don't do that, because then you will be in this endless shiny object syndrome cycle again. So what you want to do, you want to jump into the deep end. So you want to just go for it. Experience the losses. Perfect. You need to lose. You need to fail in order to win. You fail multiple times until you win. Because every time you fail, you get better, you get stronger. But you don't get better by now incorporating a whole new strategy. Because then the cycle just starts from zero again. You only get better when you stick to the same things and do it over and over again. And you fail and you fail and you fail. And then eventually you learn and you get better. So you learn through your own experience. There's not one single person in this entire world that can tell you how you should do things. Not one single person. Remember that always. That is also the reason why you never want to idolize someone. Nobody here is a god. We are all humans. We are all the same, but we are unique in our own separate ways. When you idolize someone, I truly think that you might be insecure. Again, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but think about it. Essentially, what you're saying is that that human being is better than you. And he or she might be better at you in something, but that doesn't mean you can't get better than them. I personally hope my students get better than me. Of course, that's the goal. If I didn't want that, then I would just control you all. And I would make you reliant on me. When you make someone reliant on you, they can never outgrow you. You have them under control. How do you control people? How do you make them reliant? Well, if they idolize you, that's the first step. Then the second thing is, if you throw new concepts at them every time, and slowly, all that you say is the only right thing in the world to them. If you treat another man or woman, their word, as the only right thing, that is extremely detrimental. You need to form your own uniqueness. You were not born on this earth to follow someone or to idolize someone else. And then again, I mean idolizing another human being. And that is why people don't reach their potential. You need to form your own opinion about things. Because again, that all leads down to, in trading, you have a unique approach to the market. Everyone sees it a little bit different. I can teach you certain guidelines, but still you will slightly interpret it differently. And that's perfect. That is where your uniqueness comes in. That is perfect. That's nothing bad. But if you're reliant on someone else's opinion always, then you can't even have your own opinion. You're just following someone. That person is not going to be there when you take losses. That person is not going to be there when you win as well. It's all up to you. It's all up to you to be successful. No one else. So don't idolize and don't rely. They go hand in hand. Then as well, when we jump into the deep end and we have found the right mentor, etc., we never change the core of our strategy. You never want to change the core of your strategy. Never. Because again, that leads back to the high probability conditions, low probability conditions. If you constantly change the strategy, it's like learning something new. Great people like Albert Einstein, etc., they didn't make great discoveries because they studied a new thing every single week. They dive into a specific niche and they study it over and over and over. And that is how they make great discoveries. That is the same with trading concepts. I mentioned it in an email I sent out. Trading concepts, treat them like a tree. Like a tree, you want to water the tree. You don't want to water a new tree every time. You want to water the same tree. How can you ever outgrow the other trees if you're constantly going to a new tree and the old tree dies, and then you're going to a new tree again and the old one dies again? How can you ever outgrow the other trees? How can you ever outgrow your competition? You can't, because you're always busy trying to do something else. And that's really funny because this applies in a lot of things in life. Shiny object syndrome is not only in trading. It's huge in trading, but it's also in business in general, and seeing what you want to do. Because I know a lot of people that jump from trading to e-commerce to an agency. They all have shiny object syndrome. And in trading, you also have the shiny object syndrome, where they jump now from this concept to that concept to this trading plan to that trading plan. Never change the core of your strategy. Never. It will pay off. Believe me. And again, all this is tied together, right? Everything here that I'm teaching you is tied together. If you were just to follow my videos, all you ever did was follow my videos, and you submit to time, then you will be successful. There's literally no way to fail. Literally none. But if you jump from this mentor to that mentor, and you're active on social media, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're not taking the instructions, then yeah, you won't be successful. It's just a fact. That's why a lot of people that won't watch this video, they will be stuck in the same cycle over and over and over. And the people that do fully watch this video, I have the confidence that you will succeed. Right here, there is always a positive lesson in everything. Train your brain to see it. In every single little thing, there's a positive lesson to take away. Every single thing. For example, if you took a loss and you had a bad trading week, what's a positive lesson? You grew stronger. Especially if you didn't mess up, then you grew stronger in your mentality. Your psychology got stronger. And if you did mess up in the form of revenge trading, overtrading, perfect. It's also a positive lesson because you learned from it. My Forex funds blowing up and not being able to trade it anymore. Positive lesson. In everything, there's a positive lesson to be found. But our brains are wired from when we were born to always seek out the negative thing. But we can also always focus on positive thing. That's what we want to do. And again, with a positive lesson, I don't mean that when you take a loss, you're going about, how could I have avoided this loss? Again, if the loss was in the training plan, don't stress it. Don't worry about it. Journal it and go on. Again, journaling video will come up as well. But if you take a loss and you now think, how could I have avoided it? Maybe I need this concept. Maybe I need that concept. Talking to someone else. Do you have another concept, or even being in Discord communities itself? If you don't trade like each other, then it's better to have the Discord communities muted. And the reason I say that is because, again, no one will come to help you when you're losing. The only thing they will do is they will tell you, oh yes, but did you see the power of 3? Did you see the macro right there? And you're like, oh no, I didn't see that. Do I need to incorporate it? And they will say, yeah, I have it in my trading plan. Of course you need to incorporate it. And what does that do? The Discord communities are just there for your shiny object syndrome. To start a new cycle. They are making you comfortable. Be uncomfortable. Be alone. Then when you have psychology issues, I would advise Discord communities or to talk with someone. Or even send me an email. And again, this is all referring to when you already have a set strategy. When you're ready to forward test. And you know your trading plan. And then you take a loss and you go into Discord communities. And they tell you a new concept. Or you go into social media. Again, all this cycle. These are all things that you need to recognize that can lead to a cycle. So again, a positive lesson in everything. But that does not mean that there's a positive lesson as in you need to change anything. There's no reason to change anything. Submit to time. When you are following my instructions here, the only thing holding you back is time. And that's truly, I 100% believe that. The only thing holding you back is time. Submitting to time, of course, means following these instructions. If you submit to time, but you still strategy hop, so you still strat hop, you backtest this endless cycle of backtesting, then yeah, submitting to time, you can submit for 20 years, but you'll still not achieve anything. So submitting to time only works if you are submitting to the right thing. For example, if you follow me with everything that I do, with everything that I tell you, then the only thing that is holding you back right now is time. That's the only thing, because with time, your experience will grow. You will see things. It will make more sense. Your win rate will be higher. Your return will be higher. You only submit to time. So submitting to time, don't strat hop. That's not submitting to time. Learning more does not equate to making more money. Avoid this common mentality when you come into the SMC industry and the SMC community. There's this mentality that you need to learn how an algorithm functions in order to make money. It's the absolute biggest bullshit there is. People are too focused on trying to figure out an algorithm instead of making money. All we are doing here, and that's why it's called the money making team in the first place, we're always focused on making money. And that is exactly what we are so damn good at. So if the algorithm releases its 60th PD array, then just remember this video. Just remember what I told you. So always avoid a new algorithm DLC. You don't need it. Remember these things and there's nothing holding you back. Again, I'm always here if you need me. I want the best for you, so I will always keep it real. All right, perfect. Thank you.